Welcome to all the classic car enthusiasts and the track day car guys. Okay, so basically this bulkhead is finished. What I'm now doing is opening up this carbon fibre front to put these headlight bowls in, but not to put headlights in, to put like a ram air system in it. So I'll show you where I got to so far. I've only done one side. I've opened up this. I'll just bring it out. It's quite a tight fit in there, as you can see. I can always open that up a bit more, but it's not bending anything, so it's probably the way to keep it. And these things are going to be in and out quite a lot. So what I've now done is I've measured the size of the pipe, or the hose that's going onto this, and this is where the line is. So I'm not going to cut it there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it right on the end of this bowl here and leave this bit sticking up. What I'm then going to do is cut slots in it all the way around, and then I'll heat it with a heat gun and hopefully bend the plastic up. What I can then do is build a metal ring which will go over the top of it, and we can either glue it or we can possibly use rivets, whatever, but we can actually mount it onto here. The idea is I want to be able to take the hose, I don't want to take the front off the car. So normally the bonnet will come off to do the normal maintenance, check the oil, water and so on and so forth. But when we want to do larger maintenance, we take out the Zeus clips on the side and pull it off the front. Consequently, it means the hose needs to come off. So it's obviously it's easier to take it off here on the headlight, so I can just put my hand inside and undo a Jubilee clip, pull it back, take the front off and leave the hose hanging. So that's what I'm going to get on with next, and I'll show you once I've cut this open, and now I intend to do it. I just hope it works. See, I've already started heating this up. This obviously side isn't done yet. You can see it's still tapered, and this is me starting to open it up. Now what I could do is I could actually weld some plastic into it and make it solid, or I could just use a ring. We'll see which is better. You can see here now I've got the heat gun. So what I'll do now is I'll just show you what I'm actually doing. So I'm just basically heating it up slowly. And you can feel when it starts to go. It's quite warm, I have to say. You can see I can bend it out. I think I need to put some gloves on, it's a bit warm. So I've taken the air box out. I've made the hole in it. What I'll do next time is use the plasma cutter, but I've got a problem with the compressor down here. The starter seems to be a bit of an issue, which is the same problem that Trev had, I think, on Trev's block. But I don't think I'll be getting a free compressor. I don't have enough views. So anyway, so what I've done is I've cut this down. So basically now this will go in here. It needs a little bit more fettling, but it's pretty much there. Maybe just needs a little slight more, and you can see that it's actually sitting nicely on there, and that should give us plenty of air going across. So hopefully what will happen is this will do two jobs, and the two jobs I'm hoping it will do is, one, it will bring obviously cooler or certainly ambient temperature, ambient air. So rather than coming off the ground where there's dust and bits of tyre beading and marbles as they call it, I'm getting a little bit higher up where the headlights are, so it should be slightly cooler instead of it going completely across the engine. So the two things I'm hoping for is this slightly denser air, which should give us more power, and on top of that the rest of the air that's not used will force it will be forced in here and come out and up the back of the carburetor and blow the hot air from the exhaust and from the engine out, because what I'm intending to do is put the bonnet on a very slight rake at the back when we're running it, so that will allow the air to come out the back of the engine. And the reason I want to do that is because we're intending to go for a radiator right across the front of the grille, so there'll be, even though there's air coming through it, it will be restricted because it's there to cool down the radiator. But hopefully this will create, will give us two things: one, cooler air, and the other is the air to push the hot air out of the engine bay. So we'll see how it goes. So that's the plan. So basically what I have to do is pop it on and put the hose in it. So we'll check and see if it fits. Yeah, that's the light in. You can see, basically, I think you can even see the light coming out the end of that. That's what it looks like on the inside. And there's the air vent coming in the side of it. So I'll take you from the wing. Obviously I still haven't got the A panel in, but you can see how that would come up there, through there, hang on, try and get that out of the way, through there, around, and into there. You can see that isn't flush yet. That will just have to be screwed on and make the hole slightly bigger. So that's basically how it would work. So what I'll do is I'll actually bring the fan down and try some wool, or I'll find something, some paper, and stick it to these edges and just see how well it flows through. I won't be able to record anything, but I think that'll give me a simulated idea. What I've done is I've got a cooling fan that we use up in the garage, the main garage up near the house. It's not particularly fast, it's just enough to put some airflow across the garage because it does get extremely hot here in the summer. And I'm trying to force as much in as I can. Now, bearing in mind there's no Jubilee clips on these, the air goes through quite well, but the high speed on the fan is extremely slow. But it gives you the basic effect. It's not going to go crazy in there because there's no fittings on the inside one or the one on the headlamp. So, but you can actually see the effect, and I have no doubt that when this is covered in at the back, the air being pushed in on that side and this side, with an enclosed sealed back, will force a lot of air into the carburetor, and also force a lot of hot air which is coming away from the exhaust and the cylinder head and the block. And as the bonnet is going to be slightly raked, it should push that hot air out, because I want to use the majority of the front surface for a radiator to get maximum cooling on it. And I will be running this on Evans coolant, which is the waterless coolant. It's you can use classic Cool 180. There's different ones. There's one for skidoos and motocross bikes, all that kind of stuff, and also ones for antique cars, classic cars. It's a waterless coolant. It's extremely expensive, but I've had it in my Jaguar 5 years. I also have it in my Mini Cooper, and I've never had to top it up. It's been brilliant. It does run a couple of degrees higher, I have to say that, but because there's no water in it, there's no steam, so you don't get this expansion, or you don't get this the hoses being pressurised. So there's a kind of drop of around about 80% drop in pressure. You can actually take the radiator cap off even when it's hot, which you couldn't do with water and glycol. Anyway, so I'll put it on and I'll show you what's going on, and then I'll pick the camera up. So I'll put it on the fastest speed. You won't see much. You can just see a little bit of movement there. The paper's quite stiff, I have to say. So it's an old instruction book, and I just cut it up because it was to try and find something. Wool would have been better, but you can actually feel. Unfortunately, what's happening with this is this grating is so big on it, most of the air is coming out of here, but you can't feel it coming through. So I'll pick up the camera and I'll show you the setup here. I've got this dog collar. That's to stop the dog licking or scratching when he's got an injury. But unfortunately, most of it is coming out of there. You can maybe, I don't know if you can see, but most of it's coming out of here. very little. There's very little surface, well, maybe half of it. But it does do the job. It's coming through, and again, as you can see, it's flopping away there. But if you can see, there's no, the fitting on there is quite big, so I have to put the Jubilee clip on it to, oh, you can definitely feel it now. But I just wanted to see what would happen, and I think it'll do the job. And we're talking about a massive volume. Air should go through that when you're going forward. It's not set up properly yet, but I just wanted to see how it works. Not very scientific, I know. And I'm sure I'm going to get people saying, oh, well, there's not that much air going through. But yeah, it's certainly do the job. Put it this way, it has to be better than air flowing through the front of the car over the top of a hot engine with exhaust heat coming up and the engine block heat, and then going to the carburetor to be sucked in to be ignited. That's got to be. There is no, engineering wise, there is absolutely 100% that has to be better. So that alone is probably worth it. So as usual, stay safe, keep the faith, and enjoy your hobby. And catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye for now.